Now, Republicans continue to claim that people are not going back to work because of generous unemployment benefits. Yes, there's so much unemployment that $300 an additional week. That just it really makes the difference. It makes sure that people don't go back to work. Yes. Now, it turns out that's not actually true. There's a variety of different factors, including the fact that we're not actually done with coronavirus. Or, to be fair, the coronavirus isn't really done with us. Although, we are turning a corner. Things are getting better. People are getting vaccinated. The vaccination rates are going up. And so that's good. And we're that much closer. Now, that said, a lot of restaurants are having some difficulty trying to find people to go back to work as they continue to open up. But there is that still risk of people getting sick, spreading coronavirus. Not only that, but of course you have the issues of low pay and all of that different stuff. And so those are valid reasons. And there are plenty more valid reasons. But Peter Ducey is not exactly buying it. He's going to go and he's going to ask White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki about why people are not returning to work. And he's going to tie it, of course, to the so-called generous unemployment benefits. Take a look.
How does the White House know that people are just choosing not to apply for jobs because the extra unemployment benefits are so good?
Okay. So, Ducey, before I get to Saki's answer, because it's good. For one, you realize that unemployment is temporary. You can't just draw unemployment forever. That's not a thing that actually happens. No Republican, I swear they think that, no, you can draw unemployment forever. No, you can't. That's not a thing that exists. It's probably a Republican plan. But okay, all right. And not only that, but again, unemployment is designed to only supplement a fraction of your wages for going to work, meaning you really don't make all that much. And even with the additional $300 per week, which is $1,200 a month, which is still basically the equivalent of minimum wage. I got news for you. If your job is paying you less than what you would get from the expanded unemployment benefits with unemployment benefits together, which normally, again, really doesn't add to that much, well, then maybe it's not the unemployment that's the problem. Maybe it's the fact that these restaurants aren't paying their workers enough. Maybe you're so used to paying your workers next to nothing that, for some pretty demanding jobs, by the way. If you've ever, been a busboy or anything like that, you would understand that it's actually a pretty demanding job. And you're on your feet, and you got to be quick, and you got to be correct, and you got to remember orders and things like that. It's not necessarily an easy job, especially with some of the sit-down jobs I've seen older people have. But anyway, this is a demanding job that does force workers to depend on tips for the majority of their revenue. And so remember, tipped workers make roughly around $2 to $3 an hour for a base wage. And with a lot of people at this point, I've done stories before. I've talked about restaurant employees that have shared some of their stories of how people are really the only people that are really frequenting restaurants in the middle of a coronavirus pandemic on the inside when they have opened up were not the best people. They were not sending their best. Okay, these people were often rude. They would often not tip or make their tip dependent on whether or not the employee would take off their mask to do like a beauty check. I mean, come on. This is not good. And so, with a lot of people not tipping very well, there might be yes, there are some situations where you do actually make more off unemployment. That's not a problem with unemployment. That is a problem with exploitative companies. And that said, that's not even the reason why so many people are not going back and working those restaurant jobs. In fact, some of the reasons Jen Psaki is going to get into with her answer to Peter Ducey. Take a look.
We have looked at the data, and Secretary Yellen referred to this on Friday, or talked about this on Friday. We don't see much evidence that the extra unemployment insurance is a major driver in people not rejoining the workforce. We actually see the data, and our analysis shows that lack of vaccination, the lower rate, which is why I referred to the data and the week that it was taken, it has an impact. Childcare has an impact. Schools reopening has an impact. But there is also the need to pay a livable working wage. And that's one of the reasons the president will talk about that this afternoon.
But as Bank of America economists who are cited in a Bloomberg story say, anybody making less than $32,000 a year is better off financially just taking the unemployment benefit. So is the White House creating an incentive just to stay home? The Commerce Secretary says the main reason that people are staying home is fear. How does the White House know that people are scared? What is that based on?
Well, I think what she was referring to is the fact that there was a much lower vaccination rate just a month ago, and that people are fearful about getting sick. They are fearful about whether they're going to have the conditions to be healthy, whether they can send their kids to a child care center, whether there is a child care center. So those are all factors that are consistent with the examples and reasons I just provided.
Maybe I'm just used to the clown show that was the previous administration, and their lack of press conferences. But I don't know. I think that was a good answer. Maybe my expectations are really, really low. But that was great. I like that. That was great. Now, for those of you who are asking, that's Peter Ducey, son of course, Steve Ducey. What? Oh, are you nepotism at Fox News? Never. What are you talking about? That would never happen. Oops. Oh my God. And so look, again, she's read about all the different reasons. Low pay. And in fact, look, if you really want to pay workers what they're worth, we should be paying people $25 an hour. Yes. I know. I thought you said it was 15. Times change. Now we're asking for 25. Deny us again. We'll raise it to 35. We can go all day. Okay, but anyway. Look, the irony about this entire thing, okay, is that Republicans, they oppose all the different stuff that's going to actually help workers, okay? They are against working people. Their policies are against working people. They actually make working people's lives less secure and worse, okay? There's no evidence that stimulus checks and unemployment stop people from working. No, you've got viruses, or the virus, I should say, the coronavirus, low wages, no benefits like healthcare or childcare, poor working conditions. You got places like meatpacking plants where the virus has been running rampant the entire time, causing outbreaks, terrible, rude customers. A lot of those reasons are why people don't want to go back to work in some of those restaurants. And yet Republicans, they oppose affordable, or free childcare. Okay. They spread anti-vax conspiracy theories, encourage people to not get vaccinated, and they support policies that keep workers' wages low. Well, of course, they're the problem. Not to mention, you've got a lack of stable hours in some of these. I know, we're flexible. Well, some people like the flexibility. A lot of people don't. A lot of people want that stability. You also have poor treatment by managers, burnout, or moving to different careers, different jobs, going to school, moving to things that are less exploitative. Now, Republicans don't want to solve these problems, because the donors pay them not to. And that's unfortunately what we have going on. It is a problem with Republicans and the donor class trying to, keep anybody from solving the actual problems, and then blaming the one thing that are actually keeping some of these people afloat, and that's unemployment benefits. If you enjoyed this video, please give us a like and share with your friends. You can subscribe and help out the channel by becoming a patron. It's patreon.com/Jeff Waldorf, or you can become a channel member as well by hitting the join button below.